The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's bring Merissa into the conversation. Merissa, you're a writer, you're a sex educator. You've been listening to the conversation. I'm assuming you have an opinion on this. What are your thoughts?
I think the piece that we're leaving out of the conversation is that this is specifically around empowering women to take control over their own bodies, or their own voices, sanctioning female pleasure and giving them a space. Whether it's a safe space is one to be discussed separately, but that piece I think is being lost right now. This is for women and for men to learn how to listen to and honor the body of a female, cisgendered or otherwise person needing voice.
So Merissa, you actually went to a group conference a few years ago, 5 years ago, where there were hundreds of people in a room practicing Om on one another. Can you share what that experience was like?
It's not what you think. It's not like everybody's lying around in a big room with their legs spread in the middle of this giant auditorium. There's privacy, there's rules, there's caution, and there are elements that make it really safe and train men and women to think and listen differently to one another.
But Merissa, you were talking to me earlier. Would you recommend this practice to a friend after experiencing it yourself?
I would not recommend anything blanket to any friend of mine without knowing their history of sexual violence, their history with the church they were raised in or the synagogue and what is influencing them. I wouldn't blanketly recommend this, no, but would I suggest that they find something that takes them out of the American form of this is what's okay and that's what's okay and give them a new way of thinking? Yes. So for that, I would encourage them to look at this as a new model of thinking about their body and their pleasure and their sexuality.
Well, Merissa, I think what you're describing is a very innovative form of sex therapy. But I guess what I'm asking about, Merissa and Maya and Dr. Dow, maybe you can help me understand. Usually sex therapists have to be licensed and they go through some standardized training so that they're really working with the psychology of their victims, making sure they're not inflicting any further harm. And there's a support network within the follow-up and the therapy zone. And I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how are the people who are teaching this and practicing this, how are they trained? Are they licensed in any way? Is there any sort of support follow-up in case some traumas do arise or someone is a victim of sexual violence?
Think of this like a meditation practice. It's really what the most similar...
But are facilitators licensed? When you use the word facilitator, are you a licensed sex therapist?
No, I'm not a licensed sex therapist.
That's what I have a problem with, right? As any consumer here, as a patient, when you use a word like I'm a facilitator, that's language that is telling the consumer and somebody who has a history of sexual abuse, oh, this is going to help treat me. In sex therapy, I can prescribe a surrogate. A surrogate is somebody who can help somebody work through sexual issues. I have a problem with the language that they use.
I want to jump in real quick about licensing, if I may. I can hear you really wanting licensing to be the foremost thing, and you are a licensed practitioner. I think there has been a bursting of sexual healers across the country that don't need any kind of certification because there's a need for it, because we have a sick culture around sex.